right, Michael here with GR Flooring. I'm here with Curtis from Ceratec. Hello, Curtis.
Yep. Hey, Michael.
So we're here live in front of our 157,000 viewers. So I just want to talk to you about tile.
Okay, perfect.
Darn it, I was hoping you'd get a better response out of that. So, Curtis, tell me, how long have you been in tile?
I've been in the industry for about 3.5 years.
Still get a little bit of demand for that. But there's another one called geometric, which has some 3D effects to it as well, which is a little different than some of the things we've seen out there. So that's one I would look at. We've also recently added some
home, right? You start that process, sort of whittle it down to where you want it to be
Yep.
because of the great visuals, because of that like
Yep.
technology. That's amazing.
Yeah. And there are occasions where we do our best to give a good sampling here. Sometimes we don't have absolutely everything. You may find something, and you can certainly get it coming into GR Flooring.
Yeah,
Just have to give us
it's
a
always
call.
been great. Just pick up the phone, call, send a quick email. We seem to have it within a couple of days, and
Yep.
all seems to be good.
PEI rating is basically the hardness of the glaze on the tile. PEI is the Porcelain Enamel Institute. They're the ones that actually do the testing on it. Through-body porcelain tiles that we talked about earlier don't actually get a PEI rating because they are basically the same color all the way through the tile. It's not a surface glaze. PEI ratings only refer to a surface glaze. So you can have matte finish, you can have polish finishes. They may have a glaze on them. What they do is a process where they actually try to damage the tile. And it's the amount of effort it takes to damage the tile that sets up the rating. So a PEI of 1 would be something you'd typically see on a wall tile where it's not going to get a lot of heavy traffic or aggressive movement over it unless you're really cleaning hard. PEI 2 would be one that you might see, say, like we were saying with a ceramic tile in a bathroom. It's good enough for that small area, but probably not a high traffic area. And again, it goes all the way up to a PEI 5, which would be something you'd recommend for heavy commercial, more institutional settings. So again, it varies a little. We do typically try to put all those ratings onto our boards, and that information is also available on the websites as well. So,
So yeah, different sizes available, different colors available.
yeah. So here, PEI 3. So that tells us this tile would be good for most residential settings. Probably not something you'd want to use in a foyer of an office building where you have 1,000 people coming through an hour. But good enough if you've got 3 or 4 people in the house walking on it regularly. So.
Or, you could still put in the 1,000 person a day, and we just change the tile every year. Yeah, I have no problems with that, right?
No, that's okay.
Hey, it's a win-win.
It's good for both.
Win-win,
Yeah.
lose. There you go. So you mentioned on there that you have sort of separated into 2 different categories. You also are starting to do vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
How's that working out for you guys so far?
We've had quite a bit of success here with our Echo flooring line. Our Echo LVP is something we brought out probably about 3-4 years ago. They first introduced it. We had a number of different SKUs. It was a little confusing, probably wasn't what it needed to be. So fortunately we had some forward-thinking leadership that just said this isn't working, and they stopped it. We retooled the whole line. We switched to SPC core on our Click product. But it's a little different than some of the other SPCs out there. We call it EFS, which is Engineered, Flexible, and Stable.
Okay.
Basically, it's an SPC core with layers of vinyl on the bottom and on the top. So basically, you've got about 6 layers altogether. You've got your IXP foam backing. You've got a layer of vinyl. You've got SPC, another layer of vinyl. Then you've got your print, and then you've got your scratch-resistant coating. So what that does, why we went to an EFS and the SPC core, SPC is generally a little bit more stable than some WPCs. And by stable, I mean it's more resistant to changes in temperature, things like that. So we've got the stability of an SPC, but the reason we put the vinyl on both sides is to allow it a little bit of flexibility to contour to a floor. Most floors, most substrates aren't really as straight as you would think, or as flat. By having a Click product that's a little bit more flexible, it puts less strain on the Click joint itself. We use a 5G Click system, which is pretty aggressive. But if you had a really rigid product and you're stepping on it and there's a bit of a hollow spot underneath, you're either going to get a loud clacking noise, or you're eventually going to move it enough that you're going to crack that joint. So again, EFS helps us with both of those issues. So.
Yeah, actually, it was funny you mentioned that, because I had breakfast with another company this morning. They were telling me how they had come out with a product, and it worked. It would work great when you exactly follow those rules. But I think the tolerance was like 3/16 of an inch over 8 feet.
Yeah.
No floor is ever going to be that, right? So it's not the reality of the market. So of course it failed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that's our EFS. That's our Click product. We also have a line which has the exact same colors, which is our Echo Pro series. The Echo Pro is a 3mm glue down vinyl product. Similar in a lot of ways to a lot of other ones that are out there. We do put a little bit detailing into ours though, on the EFS and on the Pro, they're all beveled edges, and they're a painted bevel edge. So if you wanted to grout the 3mm one, you can do it. Don't typically have a lot of people that do, but you can, because you don't have to worry about the black of the vinyl showing on the side there. So again, both are doing fairly well for us. We were one of the last ones to the market, so we're playing a little bit of catch up, but I think we've had a lot of success so far.
Good. Indoor heat, yes.
Yeah. What I would say is you can put it under every type of tile. The only thing I would say is make sure you're following the manufacturer's instructions on that. Some of them are very specific about the types of mortars to use and the waterproofing and things like that. So definitely you could put the tile on top of it as long as you're doing everything right below it. So
Exactly. Now, the big thing I really like is using one of the uncoupling membranes with the system, just because we have so much shifting, right? It's just, against the reality of the marketplace.
Yeah.
Adds more cost to it, but hopefully provides a little bit better when there's an issue.
And especially as we're starting to see more and more large format tiles being used, you're definitely going to want to be using those uncoupling membranes, whether you have a heating system or not. It's just nice insurance to know that you've got that covered. So if the floor concrete cracks, it's not going all the way through the tile. So
at what point would you suggest size-wise to start using one of those uncoupling membranes?
you can use them as small as 8 by 8 if you wanted to, but I would say I would definitely start using them when I'm doing 24 by 24 and up, or even an 18 by 36. Anything a little bit bigger than a 12-24, I would consider using some kind of uncoupling membrane.
So yeah, and same thing. Anything over 12, 24, use one.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Do you want me to turn the microphone on now?